Then the next stretch of time would run 3 to 6 months before the actual exchange. And Robert Logan is going to tell us about that stretch.
Well, in this time frame from 3 to 6 months prior to the exchange, you've pretty well got a good idea of who in our club is planning on going on an exchange. And if the number is not what we'd like it to be, then it's time to contact FFI and get it advertised on their website to recruit members from other clubs. We would prefer to fill all of these from our own members, but sometimes we can't. So then when we advertise with FFI, we get people from other clubs, like it's already been mentioned, and we need to vet those people as good as we can, because we don't want someone on the exchange who will not fit into the group. And we've had that to happen a time or two, haven't we, with you? So we want to do our best to vet these people and make sure that they will be good ambassadors, because that is the intent of the exchange. And so during this time frame, we're ready to make our final reports then to FFI, who is planning on going on the exchange. We'll notify the host club, especially when we get up near the 3-month period. We'll notify folks of the names and contacts of who is planning on going on these exchanges. And if there's any particular scheduling conflicts or concerns that anybody has, we'll address those during this time frame. So in other words, the exchange is coming to an end as far as planning at this stage, pretty much. So we get to the 3-month period in particular, because it's getting too close to the exchange to start changing too many things at this point. The one thing that we do need to do, though, is find out from our host ED if we're going to have things like official visits to the city hall or to the county commissions, or their version of our mayors and county commission. And if we are, do we have an official welcome by that host country? Then do we need to bring anything in particular from our club to them? It could be in the form of gifts, or it could be in the form of a proclamation from our officials here that we might want to take, sending greetings from our area to their area. So these sort of things have to be worked out during this short time frame too. The other thing that I would mention, and I think it's very important, although we don't do it very often, is to make sure that we understand the culture of the place that we're going to. Margaret and I have been on a couple of exchanges, actually 3, I think, with the Knoxville, Tennessee club. And they were always real good about having someone to come in and talk about the culture of the place that we're going. And it's real important that we understand the culture, and they need to understand ours as well. But we made a trip to Hungary one time, and so the speaker told us very emphatically that if you go to a dinner setting, make sure that you don't make a toast with beer. Because when the Germans overtook that country, they toasted everywhere around the country with beer. And to this day, they resent that. So we need to know things like that. He did explain to us about what their national drink was and how it tasted, which was pretty awful. But they do expect you to drink it. I tried it. Margaret did not. But
I said the doctor wouldn't allow me.
But it was like a fruit brandy type drink. I don't know the name of it. I couldn't possibly say it. But the way they want you to drink it is in a little shot glass, and you just down it. So the first drink takes your breath, and they say they want you to follow it up with a second. But you need to understand these things. Not that you have to take part in them if you choose to not do it, but you need to understand it. I'll give you another example. We went on a trip to New Zealand with the Knoxville Club this time as well. And it was on a International Friendship Day, and we happened to be in this place in New Zealand, and they were celebrating and had a large party. So they had these singing groups that came out, and we had people on this exchange from 4 different states. So they selected songs from different states and sang about those songs. I've forgotten the name of the different states at the moment, but they picked out, for Georgia, they picked out 2 or 3 songs, and we were familiar with all but one of them. But the one that they picked out that I took exception to, and I didn't say anything, but it's Marching Through Georgia. And I will say that us Southern people from, and a lot of you are not Southern, but us Southern people appreciate Sherman's March through Georgia. And that's what the song is referenced. There was another example that I was not personally involved in, that our club went on exchange to Brazil, and I don't know what happened, but I did hear back that Wayne Smith put out a notice that this particular person was to never host, to be an ED on another exchange because of some snafu that took place on that exchange. Now, you know, I don't know, like I said, what happened, but some clubs in some countries, it's real customary to hug when you meet or when you depart. Others, it's customary to kiss on one or both cheeks. Others, it's only permissible to bow. Others, maybe handshake. So you just need to know, and that's the reason I say it's important.